Oh, epic! Oh, as soon as we come
That
on,
was
Matt,
timed
maybe
perfectly.
that was awesome.
It was luck.
that was awesome. Woo! All right. Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Indeed, well, it sometimes ends, but it always comes back. We are here on Brockway's Vinyl Bites. It is another Saturday afternoon. And or of course, you could be watching this on demand anytime after, in which I say welcome anyways. We got a killer panel here, just the three of us. We got myself, we got Mr. Lorne Murphy. Say hi. How you doing, Lorne?
How you doing, Lorne?
I meant to say hi. How you doing?
Hi.
Hello. And we got the one and only Matt Brown from the Playground of Sound.
Where?
Yeah.
We're a real trio of cards here.
We are, I guess, just a half or a quarter of the Deep Nuggets squad. Of course, I've got my show on Deep Nuggets Radio, Brockway's Vinyl Bites, every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Lorne has his show tonight, Saturday night at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 on the Pacific. He's got the Garden of Delights over there, so don't miss that because that's a really great show. And Matt Brown has his every Tuesday night show at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that is 5 on the Pacific, right? No. 6 on the Pacific. Sorry. 6 on the Pacific. And he's got, every Tuesday night, Playground of Sound. Great stuff. These dudes have great taste in music. You know, they're here every weekend pretty much. But today we have went through our respective vinyl and CD collections. And we've pulled out stuff that we think is pretty cool and we want to share with you guys here today. Some great rarities and just cool things that we own. And, maybe some signed stuff, maybe just some rare pressings, all that sort of thing. So maybe should we just do one each, like go around the horn, like start Lorne, Matt, and then me, or should we just go all at once?
Whatever.
I think we'll do.
Round is cool.
Yeah. Okay. I think we'll do one each until we run out of stuff.
Okay.
All right. So Lorne is going to start us off today.
All right. I just grabbed a bunch of stuff off the shelves. I didn't really go too deep into figuring out what's the most rare. If I went by my Discogs, value assessment, it would be some of those box sets that I've kind of shown before here already, like the UK one and stuff,
Yeah.
So I just grabbed some stuff that I thought was cool. So why don't I start with, when I do, for anyone who doesn't know, I write a lot of reviews for Velvet Thunder, which used to be the Classic Rock Society. And we became Velvet Thunder when the physical magazine shut down. And I still do a lot of reviews, and they send me box sets and all kinds of fun stuff in the mail, which is fun for me because I love mail. I love free stuff. But when the box set came out for Clutching at Straws by Marillion, at first they used to send you promo versions first. And in this case, the promo version is a really, really cool little plastic wallet.
Oh, wow.
With each individual, it's 4 CDs and a Blu-ray, with the surround sound and stuff. And each individual one in their own cardboard sleeve with the actual discs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the nicest promo set I've ever seen. Nowadays, most promos are streams or their MP3s or something.
That's cool.
This one, all it needs is a booklet, and you could retail this thing. It's beautiful.
Wow.
And then about 9 days later in the mail, the real thing showed up. So I have a lot of Clutching at Straws here.
Well, that's arguably among, some people think that that's their best record, right?
Yeah, sure.
It is pretty awesome.
In my top 3, I'd say. Along with Brave and Marbles. Yeah.
That's a great album.
Brave.
Right on.
Or Clutching at Straws.
Very cool. Wow.
Yeah, fun little promo. And it's, of course, goes for a lot of money on Discogs. People aren't supposed to sell these things, but
of course they do.
But they do. But I don't. $500 if you email me. No.
Never getting rid of it. No,
I wouldn't.
That's a nice one, man. That's cool.
All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna start with this, I guess. I've grabbed a ton of stuff, just thinking I would look and go, oh, let's look at this one or whatever. I'm gonna do this one first. I actually looked for this for a very, very long time. There are a couple of different promo versions of Yes's Tales from Topographic Oceans on vinyl. There's there are two variants on the white label promo. This is such nerdy shit. I love it. And the one that I've had for years, that I got probably 30 plus years ago, was a copy of Tales that was a white label promo, and it was banded as if the songs were faded and split up, but they weren't. They actually played through continuously. However, I'd also found out that there was a limited, even more limited white label promo that did do that. So you've got the revealing science of God and remembering in the ancient and ritual in chunks rather than as full continuous pieces of music. And it took me years, but a couple of years ago during COVID, I found one. And I probably was on Discogs. And this is what the cover looks like. I'll zoom in real close, and you can see there's like an orange sticker.
Yeah.
It like shows a breakdown of everything. And then if you actually look at the records themselves, this is probably going to be hard to see, so I apologize in advance. But they're actually they actually do fade out.
Yeah.
And I used to have, here's the collector's curse, right? I used to have banded copies of Close to the Edge and Relayer, and I no longer have either of them. And I was a fool for selling them. I probably got a lot of money for them, but I wish I still had them.
Yeah.
So there you go. But
Man.
this is a fascinating listen. It's frustrating, but it's fascinating. It's like the banded copies of Passion Play and Thick as a Brick.
It's for radio play, right?
For radio play, right? Because back in those days, you know, in the early 70s in particular, FM stations would, you know, these were the bands that everybody loved on FM radio, and they'd release these albums that were super long, and they'd want radio to try to play some of them, knowing full well that most of them weren't going to play a 20-minute track.
Right.
So
Richard's coming for you, Matt.
Total knucklehead. You are absolutely correct. Hi, Richard. That's what collectors do, right? So that's why they existed in the first place. But just I had to know what those edits were, and if they were good or if they were terrible, or if Stephen Wilson did a better job, or if I could have done a better job, or whatever, you know. So
yeah, that's
wow.
Cool.
It's very cool.
Anything Tales related is cool for me. It's my favorite album of all time.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
definitely one of mine.
Scott Lade would say the same thing. That's his favorite record.
He would say it's my favorite album of all time.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
he's right.
I would say
he would say it's Lorne's favorite album.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's right. He knows what he's
all
saying.
right.
That's right.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out something here. I don't know. I got a couple of cool items. I guess I'll go with this one first.
Ooh.
This is the box set that came out in 1970 for the Beatles' Let It Be.
Box set.
Yeah, so it had a limited release as a box set. Let me open it up. It's kind of hard to get out of this packaging here. So it comes with the album, obviously.
Right.
And the album is on the Apple label.
Mm-hmm.
But it also has some of this other cool stuff here too. Like it has like this little it's got the sheet music.
Oh wow.
Oh, that's cool. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet, and it's got this nice booklet.
Ooh.
Picture of the band. Yeah, it's pretty old. Like this
That's
is
pretty
from
nice.
years ago. Are you speaking words of wisdom? Not usually, but right now we are.
Indeed.
So this box set was very limited when it came out, and I managed to get my hands on a copy through the store, and yeah.
That's super cool. Is it Canada or UK or?
I have to check the country on it, actually. That's a good question. I think it's Recorded in England, well, obviously. Manufactured by Apple. Again, obviously. Yeah, Canada. Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Sweet.
Pretty cool, eh?
Yeah, that is.
That might be Canada only. I mean, I don't know. That's really cool.
So I had known for a while. I had seen like one of these before, but it was pretty rare. Like, you don't come by this very much, even here. Like, this was a very limited run when this came out. And we got another one in at the store, and I'm like, this one's mine. Like, I'm keeping this. Like, there's no way around this. And I've never played it. This is actually the second time I've ever taken it out of this cover, just because I just have it because it's collectible. I've got like 3 other copies of this, but like the regular album, right? And but yeah, so this is the Let It Be box set that came out here in Canada back 54 years ago. Literally 1970 this came out. And this is really hard to put back together, so I'm just going to not. I'm going to do it later. But yeah, that's the Let It Be box set.
Awesome.
And they've never repressed it like that. They've never redone it like that. Like, that was just kind of like a one-time deal. Like, if you go online, that's worth over $1,000, that box set. Yeah. It's a rare. It's a rarity. You don't find that.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. So someone brought that in and sold it to you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a collection of other stuff.
And you're like, oh, I'll give you $8.
No. If it's something like we do our best to pay pretty fair, and if it's something like that, I know the rarity of that. You know what I mean? But
yeah, no, because you've got a good store there. You're a proper independent record store owner.
Yeah.
There's a chain around here that called Beat Goes On.
Oh,
and they, oh my God, are they terrible? And they'll give you like $2 for a really good CD, but they don't really have really good CDs. That's the kind of place you go to get greatest hits and the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
But you can't say the same for Second Chance Records, although we do have the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, I got to say. Second Chance Records, 20 Argyle Street, North Caledonia, Ontario, Canada. Boom.
Dig it.
All right.
We pay the best.
Next.
Yes.
Well, I want to do this one. This is
oh man,
that Progeny Bar.
Yeah,
I told you he had it.
Yeah, you did.
It opens like an old pack of cigarettes.
Oh wow.
And I tried smoking one of these once, but that was during one of the live versions of Close to the Edge, and I was like, but pretty sweet set though. All individual,
That's
Roger
awesome.
Dean artworks. Is that a word? Artworks, plural. Really nice booklet. Lots of cool stuff in there. I'm so bad at showing stuff to the camera. But yeah, really, really cool. 7 shows, all from the same run of shows. So there's no change in the set list. But it's right when Alan White had come on board. And you got the first show is Maple Leaf Gardens on Halloween of '72. And I played that on my show a few weeks ago, or a couple months ago, maybe now. It was the Wakeman solo. And his gear starts picking up the local radio station and broadcasting it right through his gear. He's trying to play. So I guess the story goes that he was getting pretty pissed off, but I've never heard him actually talk about it, but it's pretty funny to hear.
That would have been hilarious if it was like Q107 or something like that.
No, I don't know what it was, but it was more like adult contemporary kind of stuff.
Oh,
and
oh yes, fans love
hear
that.
the DJ talking and stuff. Well, nowadays some of them do. But, yeah, Toronto, Ottawa, Durham, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, Athens, Georgia, Knoxville, Tennessee, and Uniondale, New York. So really, really cool from late '72. I mean, Yes doesn't get much better than this, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a cool set. And I know there's the highlights version out there. I think that's what most people got. I shelled out for that one at the time because I just thought it looked really cool, and it is.
That is cool.
Yeah.
They also did a record store day issue on vinyl of the Knoxville show from that set, and that I bought because I
got that.
Yeah,
I think they recently did a whole vinyl issue of this one too. Like a big, massive,
maybe
slab of vinyl. It was really expensive because it's, probably like, well, it's got to be at least 14 LPs, right?
At least,
yeah,
maybe 28. Maybe it might be double that. It might be like 28 LPs. I don't know. But
I don't remember now, but
yeah, it would probably be 14. I mean, but it would pack the vinyl really tight. I don't know. Who knows? But that's very.
Yeah.
No, that's 14 CDs though, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and especially if they're doing Close to the Edge every night, that's going to be at least 18 or 20 records.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe all of them. I mean, yes. I mean, SGS Songs was a 3-record set, so if it's 7 shows, maybe they did 21 LPs or something.
Yeah, I don't remember now. I'd have to look it up, but I'm pretty sure they did that.
Now I want it.
I seem to remember. Yeah, now you want it? I'm sure it'll be a lot. It'll cost you a lot. But
well, that CD collection. Do you know what that goes for now, Lorne?
I know it's pretty high.
It's a lot. Even to buy the misprinted version, it's like $700-800. I'm like, wow.
The misprint isn't a big deal because all it is they switched shows, right? It's not like you're getting 2 of the same show.
Right. It's just they're mislabeled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I missed the bus on that one.
Me too.
I didn't get it in time.
We all have with lots of things.
Yes. Yes, we do. Okay. What am I going to do next? This one's an interesting one. I'm 99% sure this was part of a box set because I think that's how these were created. So somebody obviously sold this outside of its box set status. Genesis fans, like diehards, will probably know this already. There were Charisma did some CD releases of the first 6 Charisma records in like Trespass, Nursery Crime, Foxtrot in a box set,
with
and then
picture
selling,
discs?
yeah, the Selling in the Lamb in picture discs, right? And I've missed out on every opportunity to pick these up reasonably, but I did manage to get the Nursery Crime one, and I'm not a snob about much, but when it comes to my Genesis, I am kind of snobby when it comes to like looking for the best sounding versions and all that stuff. I know Lorne talked about this before and stuff. So this is the Nursery Crime one.
Yeah.
I'd love to find the others at a reasonable price. Hasn't happened yet, but yeah, they put it on the disc like that. And of course, it's the cropped covers where they don't have all the artwork, but they do have all the lyrics, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I had often thought maybe what I would do someday, although this would piss other collectors off, I'd buy a set of the 94 reissues because they have great packaging and put the 86 discs in them.
Is that pressed in the UK?
But anyway, I always thought this was really, really neat. And I don't remember when I bought this that I knew that it was a picture disc. I know that I was on the hunt for early pressings because my friends and I, we'll talk about this a little bit more later, but a couple of my friends and I did some like A, B, C audio shootouts between certain albums just to see which versions we liked the best sound wise.
Yeah.
And my friend David, who was the singer in Gavel Ratchet, we did a bunch of the Genesis ones, and we were really surprised by which ones we liked better than others. It went way against what we were expecting, and
wow.
In short, it was almost always the earlier versions that we liked better. They sounded more natural, more open, more dynamic, less noise reduction, less tinkering. They just sounded warmer, and it's that's the thing with the whole remix thing. It's like, yes, you get more drums, yes, you get more clarity in certain places, but unfortunately, because of the way Nick Davis did it, it sacrificed other things like dynamics.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the most polite way I can speak about it.
Yeah. I used to have those boxes way back, and I sold them.
Yeah.
and I've always kind of wanted them again since then. And one time, my wife and I were in Montreal. There's a store in Montreal called Freeze and Rock, and it's a brilliant prog store. I mean, I've come out of there with a stack of amazing prog discs every time. And they were there, and I still didn't buy them, and I still don't have them because it was hard. It was like, do I buy these things? It's just albums I know really well, or do I buy all these that I want to try? Because they also did the Gabriel one in the same way.
Oh, that's right.
The Gabriel albums were done in that same format with the picture disc, the cropped artwork, and the little box sets, and they're really nice actually. And you're right, they're good sound. I don't like the artwork, but they were pretty nice sets. Yeah.
Freeze on Rock.
Freeze and Rock. Yeah.
Trying to think if I went there. Because when we went to Quebec and Montreal, to Quebec City and Montreal, we hit up every store that was around, so it's hard to remember them.
I've been to Freeze and Rock probably 7 or 8 times. Every time we used to go to see Marillion Weekend, or when we went to see Transatlantic or IQ, or we would always stop in at Freeze and Rock. It's on Mont Royal East. Great store.
Is it still there?
Yeah.
Let me Google it real quick just to see. Freeze and Rock, Montreal.
Yeah.
One day I do want to Marillion Weekend. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but I hope it does. And so
it's something else, man. They're starting to pare it down now to just 2 nights. Those guys are getting older.
Oh gosh, I did go here.
It's a really narrow store, right? Really narrow inside.
Yeah, I think I actually bought Transatlantic's The Whirlwind here.
I guarantee you bought something. You can't walk out of there without buying something. It's amazing.
I think I did go here. Anyway, yeah, it's looking kind of familiar. Pretty cool. Yeah, the guys. Oh, look who we got. We got in the audience here. We got Mrs. Tara O'Reilly from Spin in Prague. Hi guys, sending all the good vibes. Well, Tara. Thank you. Montreal was a lot of fun. We went to a lot of record stores. We went to lots of cool places. We went to CD Exchange. We went to, I can't remember the name. I don't speak French. I can't remember the names, but there was this one massive CD store, just like thousands of CDs in there. And that's where Matt, I was telling you yesterday about the bonus version of Dream Theater's Black Cloud Silver Linings album.
Oh, with all the covers.
Yeah, with all the covers on the second disc. I bought that in Montreal, and that was a good time. Whew. Okay. Speaking of Canadian stuff, I'm gonna talk about Rush.
All right.
Now you guys notice the difference here. You guys see the difference.
Oh yeah.
So this is the regular one that probably most people in Canada own. This is the one when they got signed to Anthem, the record label. For some of you guys watching who are not from Canada, who don't know the Anthem label, I'm just going to show you guys. This is just the regular pressing here.
Yep.
Anthem. Lorne and I know this label very well.
Very well.
But somebody like Tara would only know them maybe for the MCA, or maybe even Matt, because I don't think Anthem is really a thing in the States there, right, Matt?
It's not. I mean, the first time I saw, you know what? Let me look at something. No, I don't. I was trying to think if I had any Anthem Rush 45s, and I do not. But I've seen pictures.
Max Webster was on Anthem too.
All
my Rush records are on Anthem.
Yeah, and because actually, Cody, thanks to you, I got my first Anthem Rush disc. I was on the lookout for them because I was curious about their quality, and you sold me a 2112.
Yes, I did.
And then a couple days later, I went to a local collectible store here in LA, and I found Power Windows and Grace Under Pressure and Exit Stage Left.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
4 of them.
Well, then, I'm going to do a twofer here.
Okay.
So we're still talking about this first album. So you see the difference in the cover. This one is red. This one is pink.
Yeah.
Right.
So before Rush ever got signed to Anthem, they were on a very small Canadian label called
Moon
Records.
Yep.
Only 500 of these were ever pressed.
You have one?
Yeah, Moon Records, nice.
Oh my God! Wow,
That's the beauty. Yeah, I've never
Yeah.
had that.
Oh wow!
Yeah. This is I had this in a frame for years. And
Yeah,
then eventually I took it out of the frame because then I put this one in.
Ah,
right.
Signed by all three guys. There's Neil. There's sorry, this is backwards. This is Getty,
uh-huh.
and this is Alex.
Sweet.
So yeah, two of my absolute grails right here. This is that signed Rush record and this Moon Records original pressing of their first one.
And then the pink cover was supposed to still be red, but it got screwed up, and then they kept it that way for future pressings. Just like Corrosive Steel was supposed to be steel, and the printing press screwed it up and made it all bronze coppery looking, and they had to keep it that way forever.
Yeah.
But it wasn't supposed to be like that.
Well, it's like Megadeth with the first album, "Killing Is My Business." Dave had it all designed up really nicely and stuff, and the record company made it look like absolute garbage.
Oh yeah.
And so now the garbage looking version is really sought after. I have it here too. I didn't pull it out, but it's the first one on Bonsai Records. Gotta love when record companies do shit like that, eh?
Yeah.
So that's my little Rush thing going on here with the first album and Power Windows.
Well, I kind of have to do a two for now too, because you guys just did Genesis and Rush, and I don't know which one to pick. So I'll start with Rush because that's the newer one, and this is my only non-music item. And I've shown it before. I've shown Cody before anyway.
I love it.
This is my postcard from Neil to me.
Oh, I love it. When did you get that?
In 1992. So I was 18, 19. Yeah.
Awesome.
Written. This is back when he used to see, it's even got the requisite coffee stain on it, just like everything old. Like that. I actually spilt coffee on this because I'm just that stupid. But nonetheless, that's he I got this in my mailbox, and I was like tracing with my finger where he signed and where the pen, embedded in the cardboard. I was like, oh my God, Neil, because he used to back in the days of Modern Drummer magazine, because he had a column there, and he used to answer his own fan mail twice a year. He would sit down and write out, and then later in my era, type out answers to some people that he chose and mail them. He put the stamps on them himself. He signed them. He mailed them. So that's been my
awesome.
prized possession for 32 years.
That's amazing, man. I love that.
Yeah.
Think about it, for a guy that didn't feel comfortable dealing with one-on-one people with regards to his talents and his fame and everything. That was the fact that he did that so often really says a lot about it.
Yeah. And also it was on his terms and in his time and his privacy. And, answering fan mail is a bit different, I guess, than someone coming up like, oh my God, Neil, you're the best ever. That's the stuff that he couldn't stand.
Right.
Well, and Lorne, I think you also asked him what some of his favorite albums were, right? Like you asked him if he still listened to Yes and stuff like that. And
I asked him, I was only 18 or 19, so pretty naive questions, but I asked him if he liked The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway and Selling England by the Pound. And I asked him what he thought of Alan White and if he would ever want to cover. I don't know what I asked him if he wanted to cover, but his answer was, I can think of no song I would like to cover, never mind an ancient Yes song, but you can dream if you want to. And of course, later on, many years later, they did the Feedback album where they did all covers. But of course, life was much different for them then.
Well, that probably made him feel a bit more at ease, especially because you're asking about his taste and his opinions and stuff, and not just going, Neil, you're the best ever, you're my god, all this
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So
I'm not even a drummer, and I used to subscribe to Modern Drummer magazine just so I could read Neil's column. But you know, he's my hometown boy. What can I say? So,
what's up, Sean?
I'll just quickly do the Genesis one too, because Matt was talking about early pressings.
Go
And
for it.
This is my Charisma 1983
Ooh,
West German. For those of us who remember West Germany,
Yep.
West German Charisma pressing called the Yellow Rays design. They did this for Trick of the Tail, and then there were 3 Peter Gabriel's 4th album, or what the Americans call Security.
right.
And this is a unique mastering to any other version out there. To me, it's the best sounding version of Duke I've ever heard. I can turn it way, way up loud. It sounds spectacular. It sounds better than the vinyl.
Yeah.
To me, the vinyl never sounded great to me anyway. It's kind of a long album. So, you know, the story there with the grooves. But this is just before Charisma merged with Virgin. Yeah. So pretty cool.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I have copies of Duke. I don't have that one.
Yeah.
But they're both, one of them's a U.S. Atlantic pressing that was pressed in Japan that I really like. And then there was another one that was, I don't think maybe it's on the shelf behind me. Let me look. Hold on a minute. I think I can grab it. No.
What a great show. This has been an awesome show, I gotta say.
My apartment is small and things are organized, but in kind of a haphazard sort of way. For many reasons, mostly because I'm not here as much as I used to be. I don't have time to like do a full-on organizational thing. So, but anyway, I have an earlier version, and I've kept both because I can't decide which one I like better. But I imagine if I had the one that you have, I'd probably sell both.
It's awesome, honestly.
I mean, they both great, but I'm sure, you know.
That's awesome.
Cool.
So, Matt, what do you got next for us?
Let's see. What are we going to do next? Oh, yeah. All right, let's do these. I'm going to hold up a couple of these because especially, I know Lorne and Scott Davis, and I know Cody is becoming a big fan too, so I think all you guys will find this great. Miles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. I mean, Miles Davis' catalog has been handled very, very well. Okay, obviously we know that. You know, they've done all these cool reissues and sessions and box sets and things like that. And interestingly enough, a lot of what's out there is remixed.
Yeah.
And some of it's, I mean, the remixes are all really great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. You know, I don't want to cast shade on them because they're very good.
Mm-hmm.
But partly because of how much I love Miles and how much my dad loved Miles, I really wanted to find copies of the cleanest early mixes I could find. Just for kind of personal reasons, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so I started seeking out the Japanese CDs. And they've been reissued in Japan probably dozens of times by now. Only one of these, I think, is a very, very first pressing, but most of these are like really, really, really early. So I'm going to show you a couple of them. This is one of my favorites. This is for 4 and More.
Nice.
Part of there were two releases from this one concert that they did in 1964. There's a record called My Funny Valentine, which I don't have in front of me, and then 4 and More. And they're both part of the same show. And the story goes that the band members weren't told that it was a benefit and that they weren't getting paid.
Oh,
Were pissed. And it showed in the playing. It's an incredibly energetic, passionate, fiery show. And They didn't have Wayne Shorter yet. They had a guy called George Coleman playing tenor. And it was probably one of the best Coleman performances ever. I mean, but all the guys, you know, Miles talks about it in his autobiography. Just a ridiculous concert. And my dad loved these records so very much. So one thing that kind of distinguished the Japanese discs, but they kind of did this design. That's like a Sony thing from that era. Later pressings actually had like a little silhouette of Miles on them, like playing his trumpet and stuff. Yeah. But I had a handful from the next series, which was the 32 DPs. And they're all the same as far as how the CDs look. But Water Babies, Kilimanjaro, Nefertiti. I picked these all up at Amoeba, like super cheap. This is probably the rarest. It's miles ahead. And it's the mono mix from 1950.
Wow. That's cool.
It's very cool. I actually don't like the mono mix very much, which is rare for me. I usually love mono mixes. It sounds a little too boxed in, but and I've got others too, and I have a few duplicates that I'm eventually going to sell. But so every time I go to Amoeba, I hit the Miles section because they have them there for like $5, $6, $7.
Yeah,
you've been to that historic Amoeba Music.
It's now but yes, a bunch of times.
Yeah,
that's like a legendary place, man.
I used to live 10 miles from that place, so I used to go there all the time.
10 miles
of my bank account. I used to go there all the time.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
and I mean, you know that. Again, I'm not gonna cast shade on the remix versions, because Mark Wilder and all the people that worked on them, really, they did a great job. They sound wonderful. I actually prefer the Bitches Brew remix to the original. But it's really cool to hear, like, this is what people heard in 57 and 66, right, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, things I avidly collect is the early Miles discs when I can find them.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet. All right. Where do I go from here? Okay. I got a couple more things to pull out, but I'm going to go with this one. So I don't own a lot of Dream Theater vinyl. Like I do, but it's mostly the stuff that's either still in print or like those Lost Not Forgotten records, like the live ones and just various stuff like that. So I've only got a couple of their studio albums on vinyl. This one we got in my store a long time ago. And then finally I ended up taking it home, and I'm sure glad I did, because now the rest of the records are so hard to get. I've got Octavarium, and I got this one, Images and Words.
Wow.
Yep. This is on the... What's that, man?
That is rare. Wow.
So this is the gold label version. This is, of course, music on vinyl. This was limited. This is only 2,000 of these were made, this pressing of this in particular. And I'm going to show you. I love this album, okay? I've been addicted to Surrounded for like the last 2 weeks. So we open it all up. Everything just falls out. And it's on colored vinyl like this. It sounds great. The sound of this is really good. I wish I had not been so dumb at the time and bought the rest of them, but I wasn't. I hadn't become yet a big fan, so I picked this one up and put it in the store, and then I was like, I'm going to take this home, and I'm sure glad I did, because I ended up absolutely falling in love with this freaking thing. I love this record. Obviously, most of you guys who are watching this probably know. What's up, Christopher? You probably know this record, Pull Me Under, Another Day, Take the Time, Surrounded, Metropolis Part 1, Under a Glass Moon, Wait for Sleep, and Learning to Live. So pretty much my set list for my radio shows every week. Yeah, I love this. I love this record. Look at the hair.
Very 1992.
I remember when they looked like that.
Yep.
I've been working on collecting them. Like I've got Octavarium. Octavarium is also one of my favorite ones. Matt, you'd like this one.
Yeah. Cool.
You'd like this. And I've got the Distant Memories Over Time, when they were doing the Distance Over Time and Scenes from a Memory live back about 5 years ago. And all the Liquid Tension stuff, because you can still get those. So I got all the Liquid Tension records and the John Petrucci solo stuff, James LaBrie solo albums, the Mike Mangini. Actually, I'm going to show the Mike Mangini one because this was announced the day that he left Dream Theater. And this is signed by him.
Oh, nice.
Pretty cool. Invisible Signs.
Yeah.
I wish that I would be able to get. Oh, I have this one too, the brand new one, and I've got the Distance Over Time box set. So I guess I got more than I thought.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, I love Dream Theater, and I wish I had got the entire catalog, but that would have been super expensive because it's just hard to buy 20 albums at once. So, and they're all out of print. But now that Mike Portnoy is back in the band, I can see them, probably gonna repress them all and make sure that all the fans can have, because most fans don't have any of the Dream Theater records. It's mostly CDs. And so, like, I've got all the discs, I've got all the CDs, but most people who are fans usually only have the discs because the vinyl is so damn hard to get. You want a copy of Scenes from a Memory, it'll run you about $400. It's like, I'll just wait.
Well, also, when they were kind of at their height, vinyl was at its lowest.
Yes, that's true.
CDs were the norm. It was. Nowadays, vinyl has made its comeback, which is cool. But at that point, it wasn't like that at all. The idea of a band like Dream Theater putting out their album on vinyl, people would be like, "What? I don't want that." But
yeah, it's been hard to find early '90s titles on vinyl unless they've been reissued. I've gotten a few, but mostly it's because they've been reissued.
Yeah.
So
this one's pretty hard to find too, but we'll come by. We'll talk about that later.
Cool. Nice.
All right. Well, once again, Matt, I'm gonna have to go with something Matt just touched upon. I love all those Miles albums you just showed, by the way, especially Miles Smiles.
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Love it. ESP, all of that period. I should have pulled that. I think I've shown it before. My box set of the second quintet, where it's every note they ever played in the studio. Do you have that one? That's brilliant.
I don't have that. I've been thinking about, since I have these originals, I thought I would pick that up to supplement.
Yeah.
And hear the outtakes and stuff.
You don't really need it, but it's pretty cool.
You guys see this? Look at this comment here. That's cool.
Oh my God. Miles Davis came into the music store I worked at, and I was intimidated and afraid to speak to him. Dude, I would have been terrified to speak to him. Oh my God. Wow. That's so cool, Richard. Wow.
So this one, another pricey one nowadays, is the tin box version of On the Corner Sessions.
Oh, you got that. Wow.
I did.
That's killer.
These things are beautiful, man. Like that thing. Like beautiful, beautiful books.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
So many, like, what is it? 7 CDs? 6. What a jip. It's kind of hard to open this book actually without wanting to crack the spine, but I always treat these things so carefully, but there he is. There he is walking into Richard's music store. Hey, man, you got any of that vinyl? I need some vinyl. That's the first time I've ever done a Miles impression, so I hope it was okay.
Hey, Richard.
Miles Davis and whatever the opposite of Miles Davis is, right?
Yeah, right.
Richard, you got a mute. I need a new mute.
Yeah.
Man.
Don't fuck with me. I was a boxer. He was too.
He was.
So that's my Miles on the Corner Sessions, complete On the Corner Sessions box, and the metal tin. There's a bunch of them that they did in that format.
Yeah,
but they're pretty pricey, even if you buy them direct.
That one and the Cellar Door one, I think, are the rarest.
Cellar Door, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have either one. I've got a couple of the other ones, but those two I've not found at a price that I am prepared to pay. So
yeah, there's a list of the Dream Theater albums. Okay.
No, he's saying he has all those on vinyl.
Good.
I love you. Just before we move on again, I'll just get rid of the last Genesis one. I think I have.
Okay.
There's the Little Mama 3-inch
you have
single.
one of those. You have one of those too. Yeah.
Yeah, you have this one?
Yeah.
I used to have the Spot the Pigeon too, and I sold it. We could do a whole episode on stuff we sold that we shouldn't have.
You're not kidding. We could do a whole Genesis episode.
I know. But this has the longest version of Mama that there is, even longer than ones that are on box sets and other reissues and remixes and stuff, as well as it's going to get better long version.
Wow. So how do you play that? Like in a GameCube?
I played in my Blu-ray player.
Well, yeah, a lot of players actually have a kind of a 3-inch indentation.
Yeah.
So you can play it without having an adapter. I used to have a 3-inch adapter. I don't think I still have it anymore. But
I've never needed an adapter. I've always had something that plays these. I don't know. Maybe that's weird.
That's good. That's
the
good.
The tray has the circle and then the smaller circle in the middle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you've seen that, right? That's what that's for. The CD singles never really took off too much. They were like cassette singles. You know, they were sort of big for a year and then no one really wanted them. But I love these things.
Yeah.
That wouldn't work in my CD player because like, you got to slide the discs into like the slots.
Yeah.
I'll still take it. Like I'll still take it.
Back then, a lot of CD players were the tray format, which I still have in my Blu-ray. But early CD life was pretty fun. Actually, I remember getting an album like 2112 or something, and you could skip to the individual sections of the song. Do you remember that, Matt? Like skipping to the individual parts of the track?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Like they would be
indexed that way. Yeah.
A lot of classical CDs do that.
Yeah.
In my generation, if you showed someone like that, if you showed someone of my generation something like that who doesn't know anything about music, they would look at that and think that it was a GameCube disc.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, I know.
Davis Morris is here. Things sold that I shouldn't have got rid of. My entire vinyl collection in the late 90s, over 2,000 LPs.
Oh.
Yeah, that's actually why we named the store Second Chance Records, because it's everybody's second chance at buying back their old stuff.
Great idea.
And it reminded me of the Fleetwood Mac song Secondhand News. So
perfect.
Lorne, that was awesome. I don't even know if I've ever seen one of those for that. That was super cool, man.
Yeah, I used to have Spot the Pigeon too, and they did Spot the Pigeon in the full size CD as well, but they also did it in this little 3-inch one, and I wish I had kept it.
Yeah,
but
I actually forgot that I had that Mama 3-inch disc, but I do.
It's easy to lose them. That's why I don't actually keep it slotted in next to the other CDs. I keep it actually sitting out.
Yeah,
just like at the front, so I kind of always see it. But
yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah,
great one.
All right,
what do you got, Matt?
Well, I'm actually at a loss of what to do next.
I
was going to keep it on the Genesis tip, believe it or not, but I'm thinking maybe I should save that for a separate stream because, between the three of us, we could do a whole episode on them. So
yeah,
I think I'm going to wait because I did have a couple things I was going to show that I couldn't believe that I found, but we'll save them for another time.
All right, next week we'll be showing our Genesis collections. Then
that's a cliffhanger for y'all.
Yeah. All right, that's the topic for next week, guys. Pull out cool Genesis stuff.
Okay, I've only pulled out a couple things. I got tons more, so that'll be easy.
Lauren, are you in?
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. Right on. So I was talking earlier about radio edits and albums that were banded and things like that. Around the same time of that whole obsession that I briefly went through, I found both of these, and I think I got them on eBay. One of them's a promo. One of them is legit, and it's.
Oh yeah,
dude!
Edit 8 and then edit 9 on the flip. And edit 8
is that Flee the Icy Lucifer?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Actually, no.
Well, that's 7.
9.
Oh, that's 9.
8 is the Overseer Overture.
Oh, I Am the Overseer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then the other one, and this is a promo, which is probably rarer, is edit number 10. It's the last 3 minutes.
Right.
I forget what it's called. It's kind of a regal sounding name. I don't remember the name of it right now. And then the B side, and the B side is The Hare Who Lost His Spectacles.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Lorne played that on the Garden of Delights a few weeks back.
Yeah.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah.
but to have these on 45s, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird, but I couldn't pass it up. It was so cool. I was like, oh, this is great,
That was awesome.
Cool. I remember
open up one more time.
Oh, okay.
I heard that
I'll take them out of their sleeves. They're easier to see that way.
Yeah.
So that's edit 10. And the flip is edit number 6.
I remember hearing the edit from that one of those on one of those best of Jethro Tull's albums from way back in the day. MU. I think it was called MU.
8 was on MU and 9 was on repeat.
Repeat. There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's 9.
Yeah.
And then here's 8.
And
but like,
were those actual hit songs at the time?
No. I mean, one interesting phenomenon I've learned about collecting 45s is that a lot of, like, we may have talked about this before. My holy grail, or one of them, has been to find an original Lamb Lies Down 45. And I've got a promo and I've got a reissue. But there are so few of the US stock 45s of The Lamb, which has an edited version of The Lamb on one side and a remix of Counting Out Time on the B side. They're so rare that people sell them for $500 a piece.
Oh my God.
Wow.
I think the reason why these are so rare is that, like, they probably did an initial run of maybe 1,000. And when they didn't catch on radio, they never printed any more. It's got to be the reason.
I see. So probably not even Steve Hackett owns one. That's how rare these are.
Probably.
Usually the musicians are the last people that own these things.
Yeah, exactly. They might get promo copies of the albums, but I doubt singles. So.
Well,
anyway,
great stuff.
Just the endless curiosity for me about collecting 45s, and particularly these bands in the early 70s. I'd love to get a 45 of The Great Deceiver and The Night Watch, but good luck.
Yeah.
They're out there, but they're expensive. So that type of thing,
To keep on with the sort of prog thing that we got going on, I got a couple more titles here that I want to show, but I'm going to talk about this one.
Oh.
So I only recently found out that this had gone rare out of print. It was actually a conversation I think that you and I and maybe someone else had, Matt. I remember while you were talking about the fact that this CD went really rare and it was hard to get. So I was like, I've got this on vinyl and let me see how much this is worth. If you go online, I bought this when it was, pretty much newly pressed. And if you go online now, this is like $400 or $500 for this record, for this particular copy of it. I'm like, oh, Jesus. But anyway, this is the 2015 Music on Vinyl pressing of Talk by Yes. Some people love it. Some people are, it's not their favorite. I do like this record a lot.
It's my favorite of the Trevor Rabin era. For sure.
Yeah, it's a good album. It's a good album. It's got Endless Dream, and
I saw that tour.
Yeah, the tour was awesome.
Yeah, it was good. They played Purple Haze. Remember that?
Yeah, I do. That was really cool at the very end of the show. Oh, nice.
Nice, cool book inside. I got the CD too. I got the CD from my dad. That's an original one from back in the 90s. The vinyl's not colored or anything. It's just the regular standard black vinyl. But I was pulling out records to do this. I'm like, you know what? This is kind of one of those that's gone pretty rare. And so I thought I'd pull it out today.
When I would find cheap copies of that on CD, I would buy extras and then just give them to my friends, because I knew that, like, I would meet Yes fans who were like, "Oh, I can't find that record." I'm like, "What's your address?"
I didn't realize it was that rare. That's funny. The CD.
Yeah, well, it went out of print really fast. I think within a year or two, because the record company went under.
Yeah.
That made it somewhat rare for a while, but it was never like, the CD was never like a really expensive item. It was always like dollar bin stuff.
Yeah. I guess I just never realized it. I don't know. I bought that CD when it came out. I still have it. Same with all those stuff, Keys to Ascension and all that stuff. I bought those basically the day they came out, and they're still on my shelves.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
We have the biggest Yes fan possibly ever in the audience right here. Is a guy named Jeff Shilka.
Oh, he got the box set.
He's a Yes aficionado like us on steroids in the most complimentary way. Of course, Jeff is awesome. He's a hell of a guy. Got great taste in music and just loves Yes. Rock on, Jeff.
Well, I want to, since he's on, real quick. I want to flash this real quick because
Sure.
he'll appreciate it. I've got 2 copies of this. I'll show you them. I don't know which one's rare. I don't really think it matters. But this is the America single.
Oh,
the edit one where it just starts with the like it omits the whole beginning.
Bom, bom, bom.
Yeah.
It starts with the bass. Then on the B-side, the B-side's the best part. It's the Total Mass Retain that came out prior to the album coming out.
Ah,
And it's a unique mix of like that 3-minute segment of Close to the Edge. So
wow,
awesome.
awesome.
Again, going back to like the Passion Play thing, you know, with edits of a huge piece. Yeah,
Matt, what's your address?
who wants to know?
Me.
I sent you my address.
No, I'm just kidding. If I'm gonna rob anyone, I'm gonna have to do Lorne because he's closer.
Well, that's true. That's more convenient for you.
I listened to all of Yes albums and did a best of on Spotify. It's called Yes by Awesome. Cool.
Oh, very nice.
Right on. So, Lorne, what do you got for us?
Well, do I go? We were doing Tull there. I'm really much better at twofers, so I'm going to quickly do Tull. Much like that Marillion promo I showed you, they did the same thing with Tull when they did the This Was box. There's my little promo sticker on the back, basically saying, "Don't sell this, people."
Oh, so you can just give it to me then. You don't have to sell it.
It doesn't say anything about giving it away. That's true. Oh, actually, it does say, "But don't give to Cody." I never noticed that before.
That's on the fine print right there. It says
Yeah, if you need the press release, blah blah blah, please email me. Cody is an asshole at
Oh,
I've never noticed that before. That's funny.
Wow, I'm glad I get the whole message out there for everyone.
I can't believe that email address wasn't taken already. So what they did was, so the discs, the
You are
DVDs,
ruthless, man.
Oh, cool.
the DVDs were the real ones, but unlike the Marillion box or the little Marillion set where every disc was the finished product, these CDs are more classic promo style ones, just silvers.
Nice.
So those are kind of rare and unusual. And again, such a cool little set. All it really needed was a little booklet, and you could retail them like this because lots of people would like to stick those on their shelves because they fit, they're CD size. They're not book size, right?
Jokes aside, that's pretty sweet, man. That's pretty cool.
What jokes?
Like, I was just joking about you giving it to me.
Oh, that was where was I?
Jesus, get with it, man.
Gotcha. Okay, we'll stick with Marillion. We'll go the early stages box set.
Oh,
again, this is there's a smaller version of this that most people have, kind of like when I showed the Progeny box. This one has a whole ton of early live Marillion. So this is kind of going through their earliest period from like 1982 at the Marquee Club, when and you can hear the advancement of them through the years,
right,
as they go from this sort of nervous, shaky band on stage at the Marquee to their little cult following, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and then they're in Germany, and then they're in, and then it's by the end, it's the Clutching at Straws tour, when they were just like practically taking over the world for a brief period.
Cool.
Very, very cool. Lots of favorites from the early days. Lots of versions of Grendel for people who love Grendel.
Oh yeah, 17 and a half minutes.
Yeah, people still call for that. I've seen Marillion so many times in concert, and people still shout out for Grendel at the shows. It's like Freebird, Grendel. Yeah.
Matt, have you seen Marillion before? You have, right?
I saw them. Thankfully, I saw them once. They don't come to Los Angeles very often, but I saw them right before. I think it was right before Fear came out. They played at the House of Blues.
Oh, okay, right on, right on.
And it was amazing. It was, I mean, the House of Blues, LA is pretty small, so it was very intimate. And they opened with The Invisible Man, if I remember correctly.
Brilliant.
And it was intense. It was absolutely intense. And maybe, and you guys have, I mean, Lorne's seen Marillion a bunch of times, so maybe this is normal. But I have to say, their performance of The Great Escape that night wasted everybody.
Absolutely. It's always a killer.
Oh,
it's always a killer.
I turned around to my friends and I was just like, I knew it was an amazing song already, but that took it to a whole other place.
No, that gives you shivers, that one. That one is really something else.
So I'd love to see them again. They don't come to LA very often, and I haven't had a cruise budget or a Montreal budget. But I'm working on the Montreal part, but I don't.
Yeah.
Unless I'm playing one of the cruises, I don't think I'll ever get to go on one. But we'll see.
We saw them do the Brave album, and like complete from beginning to end, and there wasn't a moment of that live Brave show that wasn't just 10 out of 10. Like, it was just stellar. Every moment of it, I was like, gripped by what was going on stage, because they do a lot of little Hogarth especially does a lot of little theatrical things too,
Yeah.
And there's a moment where they have two guys run on stage and grab him because he's going crazy and try to drag him off and for a very split second, this sounds so stupid, but it's the truth. For a split second, I thought it was real.
Oh, wow.
I thought two guys had jumped on the stage and were trying to take him off the stage, because he fought them so hard.
Wow.
It was his Brando or De Niro moment. He was really acting, and it wow, like it was an amazing show. Amazing.
Yeah. The big acting part that I remember making a massive impact on me at the one show that I saw was when they did Neverland.
Oh God, yeah.
It was over the top, but in like all the best ways. And,
yeah.
And I was just like, oh man.
Yeah.
And now, I have, like you and my friend David is a huge Marillion fan. Scott Jones, our singer for A Museum and for Heliopolis, is a huge Marillion guy. He goes to most of the festivals.
Right.
He was always like, you got to see him live. And like, thankfully I've seen him once. It's like, oh, you got to go to Montreal. I'm like, I know.
Yeah. Oh, he goes to Montreal. Nice.
Pretty much every time. Yeah.
Well, I'm probably gonna meet him next year then, because I'm thinking about biting the bullet and doing the trip and going there and going to see that next year. So
you should, because you'll regret it if you don't.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so right. You're right. And a lot of the cool people like Marie Edwards and stuff, I think she goes to those a lot of the times too. And I think you should go, Matt. I think you should go.
I've got it on my list. I very much want to make it happen. Maybe I'll sell some records and buy a ticket.
Well, yeah, Marillion 2025, Marillion Montreal weekend 2025. It's happening next year, so next March, I think it is.
Yeah,
God, that's gonna be cold.
I'd like to see Lorne come. Lorne that'd be super cool to have Lorne come, and that'd be awesome. But
I've been to 4 of them, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go. Like, I'm pretty certain that I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
More details on who with later.
Okay.
So Matt, what do you got? What do you got coming up next?
Well, I don't know how many more rounds we're gonna do.
Yeah, I've only got 2 left. I'll probably just do the 2 of them, and then that'll be it for me. But
well, then in that case, I've pretty much got my 2 picked out. I'm gonna stay with the CDs. I'm gonna stay with the early collectibles. I've actually been on the fence about selling this one because I know how I could make a lot of money on it, and I probably should do that because money is tight and economy is hard and all that. But for a while there, I was collecting the RCA Bowie albums.
Mm.
Some of them are very rare. You really, it's very hard to find them in America, at least. used to be under $20 a piece. Now it's like 25, 30. They're going up. This one I actually found for like $8, and I couldn't believe my luck that day. It is the West German pressing of Stage.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
And you cannot really touch this for like under $75. So I know I could eBay it tomorrow and do really well. And I'm kind of, it's like a save it for a rainy day thing. It's a great album.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you sell it? Well, to be honest, because it's a newer Bowie record for me, I'm not like totally married to the original track listing, and the reissues have the whole show in the correct order.
Yes,
so
they do.
I'm kind of more on that tip when it comes to this particular album. But yeah, it's in perfect shape, and I've got a bunch of the other Bowie. I've got some of the Japanese RCAs, but this is the only West German that I have.
Yeah.
So, and
That's pretty cool.
this one actually says made in Germany, so it must have been pressed after the whole West German thing, which is weird because I didn't think they were pressing them after 1984 or 85, but maybe it was a misprint. I don't know, but pretty damn cool. This is what the front cover looks like. This is the back cover.
Yeah. Old school case.
Old school case. One of those classic person puts it out at a record store, doesn't realize what they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I got two more that I'm gonna go for here. I mean, I've got a lot of rarities in my collection, but just to keep it condensed, I've just got two more that I want to talk about here. I'm gonna talk about this one.
Oh,
this is Paul McCartney in Youth. Cody, Scott received a mailer from me today. He'll probably open it before his next video. More cool stuff. Oh, yes. Yeah, Jeff is a super nice guy. He's in real good with Scott Lade from the Prog Corner, and every once in a while, Jeff will bundle up a whole box of cool Yes memorabilia and such and send it off to Scott Lade just out of the blue because Jeff's got a good heart. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool. Can't wait to see that. Scott always does like an unboxing video too. It's pretty sweet.
all right.
But yeah, about this record, this is Paul McCartney in Youth. This is his sort of electronic side project. This is called The Fireman. For those who don't know, they had a couple. I think they had like 3 records out. This is the most recent one from 2008. This is their new album. Like 17 years ago. I kind of remember when this came out. Dad was playing it a lot. This is a long time ago. I can't believe that.
Electric Argument.
Electric Arguments, that's right. Yeah, if you open it up, and this is a rare vinyl pressing of the album that came with not only the double LP, but it also came with. Well, okay, well we'll open up the booklet in a second, but it came with the CD as well.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, so you got the disc.
Cool.
So we can all sing the changes together, and. I played Sing the Changes actually on my show the other night for that big McCartney extravaganza. I'm still trying to send that over to you, by the way. File Convoy is just not easy to maneuver.
Okay. So whenever you get a chance. Thanks, man.
And it just wouldn't load up for some reason. I don't know. Dropbox is usually the way to go for me. But yeah, the nice booklet. All the cool pictures and stuff of the two of them inside. McCartney still had color in his hair. It was pretty cool.
That's one of my favorite McCartney projects. I love that album.
It is really good. It's on black vinyl. Nice. It is. Yeah, this is really awesome because Paul said it himself. He's like, sometimes I just like to go out and not be me. He's like, I like to make a record and just not even put my name on it. Of course, this pressing says Paul McCartney in Youth, but I think original CDs of this just said The Fireman, and no one would have known who it was. Until you put the CD on and you hear him sing and you go, oh yeah, okay. But everyone knows his voice, right? But
yeah,
I guess let's leave back on. Later,
I thought that was an extraordinarily creative record. I mean, and this, even if Paul says he's trying not to be him, he can't help but be him in a way. I mean, the melodicism always comes through. But if it frees him up, that's a marvelous thing, you know. So,
Yeah, and because he's like, I'm just gonna go out under a different name. Like he did that with Thrillington too, right? Where he just did a whole like classical stringed version of Ram.
right.
And so he's like, sometimes I just like to do that because it just totally frees me of being Paul McCartney. Is just totally a different thing. Now, on the totally other end of the spectrum, we're going to go to a 90s hard rock band that I think should have been more recognized than they get. Obviously, among the circles and like musicians talk about them. Musicians know what's up. They know who's who's in and whatever. But for the general public, probably only knew this band for one song, which is a real shame because it's not even the best song on this album. But it's Mr. Big. Mr. Big. I saw them live in Toronto last month, and it was amazing. Nick DiVirgilio on drums because Pat Torpey passed away. You got Billy Sheehan on bass. Of course, he's in all the Mike Portnoy side projects. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Paul Gilbert on guitar. What can I say about him, man? He's just he's a powerhouse. He just the stuff he'll go off into these solos, right? And he won't even look at the guitar. It's like, how are your hands moving like that? And you're not even looking at the damn thing. Like, what is wrong with you? But Eric Martin on vocals, just a great band. And this record is really hard to come by. They repressed it a couple years ago, and even that's hard to get now. But this is an original from 1992 when vinyl was on the way out and it was CDs and cassettes. This is an original record made in Germany. I had to actually have this special ordered. So this is a German pressing. There, now we're 3 for 3 on the German front. But yeah, Mr. Big, Lean Into It, 1992, made in Germany. Pretty cool. I love this record.
Cool.
Great stuff. And so that's it for me for today. So if you guys have any more, shoot them out.
I'll just quickly finish off my last little bit here. Kind of my last Genesis related item is the earliest Genesis umbrella song there is. It's by the Anon.
Wow.
Which was Mike Rutherford, Richard McPhail, Anthony Phillips, and a couple of the other guys from Charterhouse. That's before they teamed up with Garden Wall with Tony Banks and Peter Gabriel.
Wow.
This is an official CD too. This is the official CD put out by the fan club at the time. The song is called Pennsylvania Flick House. And there's 2 versions, stereo and mono version of it.
You got to play that on your show, man.
I should, yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Tonight.
Yeah. So cool.
It's even got a great big booklet. I love the smell of CD booklet. It's even got a great big booklet. I always smell these things.
Me too, honestly.
It's very extensive booklet for something that only has one song on it. But it's a pretty cool little sort of collector's item because it's legit. It's not some weird bootleg thing.
Cool.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Nash the Slash was the guy from a band called FM.
Oh yeah.
FM we're a Toronto area band.
Yeah. Ben Mink, right?
Ben Mink, but before Ben Mink was Nash the Slash. And the original electric violinist and keyboardist and stuff. And he left after the first couple albums, and he did his own albums. And there's this really cool little set that came out. Nash, that's right.
Yeah.
And his album, he sent it to the local radio station, which up here was called CFNY. It was 102.1. It used to be called The Edge. And back then, they were a very cool, hip station.
Right.
In fact,
that's so
their
cool.
tagline was the spirit of radio. We all know who took that.
Right.
The Edge is not very cool anymore.
Well, no radio stations up here are cool anymore.
That's true.
Um,
Except for Deep Nuggets.
Right.
He sent it to the radio station, and the guy played it by accident at the wrong speed. Because it's instrumental, nobody knew that it wasn't supposed to sound like that. And he got all these calls, the switchboard lit up. Oh, it's this is awesome. I love this. At the wrong speed. So he ends up later playing it at the right speed. I think he played it at 45, it's supposed to be 33, or the other way around, one or the other. And anyway, so Nash released both versions officially.
Oh my God.
And yeah, so that's his Dreams and Nightmares and Bedside Companion. Very, very cool stuff. And my very last one I'll just quickly do. It's starting to thunderstorm around here. I'm worried about my show later.
Yeah.
I got to just jump in and say Deep Nuggets also rocks. And you're right, Jeff Shilka, Prague Radio also rocks as well. I'm glad to be part of both teams.
Cool.
PFM. This is a very unusual DVD version in an actual DVD case of their album Stati di Immaginazione.
Wow.
Which is all instrumental and has cool artwork background.
Yeah.
Yes, Decomposing, playable at any speed. I have that as well. I have that CD right behind me. Same deal. He put out 33, 45, and 78 RPM versions of it. So you get to hear these 4 songs, and you hear like the sort of slow droning one, and then the next time it's kind of weird and fast, and then it's really crazy fast, and they all sound cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a weird PFM item that I am guessing not many people have.
Yeah.
No, I've
Of a very, very cool album. They're such a great band.
Nice.
So that's, I don't know, that's the stuff I pulled out for today.
Cool. That's great
well
stuff.
done.
Yeah.
Matt, you got anything else?
I got 2 more I want to show. One of them I have to go grab really quick. So give me about 30 seconds. I'll be right back.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, it's starting to thunderstorm around here, Cody.
Wow.
This is the story of the hare who lost his spectacles.
I got it. All right.
There, he's back. No, okay.
Those things I where it was, so it wasn't hard to find. Okay,
Yeah,
first,
I can't just to answer Lauren, I can't tell if it's thunderstorming because I'm in the basement and so the windows are kind of blocked by
It's coming down now. I'm worried about later.
wow.
I don't want to lose power.
Hopefully you don't lose power today.
Yeah. Well, I still got 3.5 hours.
That's good. Yeah. All right. So this is a promo record. I don't know if this made it out into the wild because this was released in 1990, around the time that they stopped doing a lot of LPs and CDs were king. But I found this a few months ago and I was just so stunned I had to buy it. And it's one of my favorite albums. It is a LP of Living Color. It's an original pressing of the Up album.
Nice.
Got the little promo thing on the back, and it's in perfect shape. And yeah, I haven't even played it yet.
Such a great band. I saw them live.
They're amazing live.
Yeah, they were so good.
Yeah, one of the best live bands I've ever seen. So that was one thing I wanted to share. The other one, this was an album that I know I've heard Tara talk about it. And I believe this is an American pressing. For years I thought it was British because it looks like it's British. I'll show you the album first and then I'll show you the cover. This is a US pressing of Pawn Hearts.
Oh,
An original.
nice one.
It's on Buddha. It's Charisma Buddha, back when they were distributing Charisma in the States.
Yeah.
I really did not know that ever got pressed in America. I figured it was just something that showed up in England, right?
Yeah.
I think I have that.
It's distributed by Buddha, and it's got the full gatefold.
That's them at Tony Stratton Smith's house.
Oh, no shit. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. That's the same place that Genesis wrote Nursery Crime.
That's right. Okay.
That's amazing.
Oh, good to know. I bought this album many, many, many years ago from a store that no longer exists. I probably bought it in the 90s. And for years, I just didn't get it. I wanted to like it. And I liked aspects of it. But I just couldn't get my head around it. But I had a feeling, I had a feeling that at some point in my life, I would. And I did.
You got it now.
Oh, you're talking about Pawn Hearts still?
Pawn Hearts, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so I held on to this. I thought, well, I mean, I could certainly sell it, but don't sell it. You're going to want to keep it. And I'm glad I listened to my gut, because it's an amazing record. So it's really, really cool to have it in this format.
It is an amazing record.
I feel you on that. I feel you in the sense that I first listened to that and I'm like, oh, I don't like this at all. And then I started listening to it more. I still haven't returned the plague of. I still haven't got back to that, because that was a lot the first time I heard it. And I'm like, okay, I need some time. But I've listened to songs from side one, like Man Erg. I'm like, this is I quite like this a lot. And I'm starting to hear other songs. Like Tara's been playing on her show on Prog Radio. She's been playing other songs from them. I'm like, yeah. And Lorne has been playing stuff from Garden of Delights too on his Deep Nuggets show. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, they're on today, actually.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of being on today, you can catch Lorne over on the Garden of Delights at www.deepnuggets.com at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's 2 p.m. Pacific. He does a show every Saturday. So if you missed today's, I hope you don't. But if you're watching this way after the fact, you can come back every Saturday, and Lorne is guaranteed to be there.
Today is show number 25. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited to hear it. Yeah. Matt Brown is every Tuesday on Deep Nuggets. So again, that's www, or should I say at www.deepnuggets.com. See you then and there.
Thank you.
That's every Tuesday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. You'll hear Matt on the Playground of Sound, and me. I got 2 radio shows. So I'm also on Deep Nuggets Radio every Thursday night at 8 p.m. That is 5 on the Pacific. Good maths. And I'm also on Prog Radio every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern. That's also a lot of fun. I know I haven't talked about that as much as I should, but I love doing the Prog Radio thing as well as Deep Nuggets. 2 amazing shows there. By far my 2 favorite stations going on. Bar none. I love these 2 stations, and I listen to them both very regularly. As Jeff says, Prog Radio rocks. Yep. So does Deep Nuggets. Prog Radio, Deep Nuggets. It's where it's at. And so every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern, you can catch me on Prog Radio. And every Thursday night, if you're feeling like 3 hours of just whatever the hell I'm pulling out of my head, Deep Nuggets, you can catch me there too. And so I think this was a really good stream here today, guys. And I think we should lock down next Saturday. We will do the Genesis. We will dig into our Genesis collections. And obviously my Genesis collection is, as large as yours both are, so like, I know we all have massive Genesis collections, so we'll pull out highlights for next weekend. And I know this is going to be a lot. It's going to be a lot. I'm looking at it because I have a whole area dedicated to it. I'm like, yeah, this is going to take some work.
Yeah.
But okay, so yeah, people have been digging the show, and I've been digging having you guys on. And Matt and Lorne, you guys are my always welcome compadres. I love you both so much.
Thanks, brother.
It was a good one.
Even though, as Lorne pointed out earlier, I'm an asshole. It's true.
No, I didn't say that. That was the email address that was on the back of my Jethro Tull promo.
It's all right. It's okay. You can't tell me nothing I don't already know, so it's all good.
What?
But,
tell the guy that wrote that sticker on the promo.
There you go.
Sean Barnes, yes, and Jeff, and lots of people have been viewing this, and of course, more people will come after the fact. So thank you guys so much. We'll see you next weekend, right? Okay.
Yes. All right.
All right.
And don't forget, Matt, do you know what the closing line is? Lorne, do you know what the closing line is?
Let me think for about 3 seconds. Yes, I do.
Okay, well,
I don't.
Rock on.
Oh, sorry.
Rock on. Bye-bye.
All right, guys.